Have you ever wondered why Easter, a celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, involves bunnies and eggs? This question intrigues many of us, for on the surface, the connection appears to lack concrete logic. However, the answer to this riddle lies deep within the annals of history. This seemingly perplexing blend of symbols, that seemingly no connection to the Christian narrative, actually find their roots in traditions that stretch back to ages long before the Christian era came into existence. Our journey of exploration starts with the pagan festival of Eostre, a celebration dedicated to the goddess of dawn and spring. Eostre, also known as Ostara, was a figure of great reverence for the ancient Anglo-Saxons and Germans. For these people, the arrival of spring was a highly anticipated event, one that heralded the end of the harsh winter and the beginning of a season of growth and fertility. To celebrate this change, they indulged in feasts and merriment, making the air resonant with cheer and festivity. Rabbits and eggs, both potent symbols of fertility and renewal, were closely associated with this celebration. The rabbit, known for its prolific breeding habits, and the egg, the epitome of the promise of new life, both mirrored the rebirth and growth seen in nature during the advent of springtime. These symbols weren't chosen randomly. They held deep significance for the people, and were revered as the embodiment of the life-giving properties of the season of spring. As Christianity began its spread across Europe centuries AD, the Church, in its wisdom, often incorporated local traditions and symbols into its own practices. This was not a haphazard process, but a calculated move to make the new faith more relatable and acceptable to the converts. The Church recognized the importance of these symbols in the belief systems of the people and decided to reinterpret them within the context of Christianity, rather than attempting to eradicate them. Eostre's festival, which conveniently coincided with the timing of Christian observance of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the symbols of the rabbit and egg were retained and given new meanings. The egg came to symbolize the resurrection itself, with the cracking of the shell representing Jesus emerging from the tomb. The rabbit, or Easter bunny as we know it today, was thought to bring these sacred eggs, and so these symbols of an ancient pagan woven seamlessly into the fabric of Christian Easter celebrations. They served a dual purpose. They provided a bridge between the old beliefs and the new, helping to ease the transition for many converts. They also added a touch of wonder and joy to the solemnity of the Christian observance, making the holiday more appealing to children. So, the egg-laying bunny we associate with Easter of pagan and Christian traditions. But how did we move from this to the celebration we know today? This question beckons us to delve deeper into the fascinating history of Easter. Tune in to our next episode to find out as we continue our exploration of the history of Easter. And remember, make sure you like, share, subscribe to InnerVision FM Cash App, $InnerVisionJ, and watch our other videos produced by The Blind. Easter, as we know it today, didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process over centuries. As the early Christian era unfolded, Easter was celebrated in various ways, often differing by region and culture. But it was the Council of Nicaea in the year 325 that established a more uniform way of observing Easter, determining that it should be celebrated on the first Sunday following the first full moon after the spring equinox. This decision aimed to unify the celebration across all Christian communities. In the centuries that followed, the Church further developed Easter traditions. One of the most solemn and revered is the Easter Vigil. As darkness falls on Holy Saturday, communities gather in churches for a service that lasts into the early hours of Easter Sunday. The Vigil is a journey through salvation history, from creation to resurrection, symbolizing the passage from darkness into light, death into life. However, it wasn't just religious traditions that evolved during the Middle Ages. As Christianity spread across Europe, it encountered a myriad of local customs and folklore. In some cultures, the hare, a symbol of fertility and new life, was associated with the season of Easter. This eventually gave birth to the tradition of the Easter bunny, a character beloved by children around the world. Then there's the Easter egg, another symbol of new life. Eggs were often painted with bright colors to represent the sunlight of spring and were used in egg-rolling contests or given as gifts. Over time, the simple egg evolved into elaborate creations, such as the ornate Fabergé eggs favored by Russian royalty. So, you see, Easter has been shaped by centuries of cultural and religious practices. It has adopted symbols and customs from different times and places, adding layers of meaning to the celebration. Easter has evolved a lot over the centuries, but the core message of resurrection and new life has remained constant. And that's the beauty of Easter, isn't it? It's a tapestry of traditions, all woven together by a thread of hope and renewal. In the modern era, Easter has taken on a new form, with traditions that are both secular and religious. One of the most recognizable symbols of Easter today is the Easter Bunny, a figure with roots in Germanic folklore, where it was believed that a hare would bring brightly colored eggs to well-behaved children on Easter morning. This charming tradition has evolved over time, leading to the popular modern-day Easter egg hunts, where children search for hidden eggs filled with treats. Another popular secular tradition is the Easter Parade, a festive event that originated in the mid-19th century. In those days, after attending church services, people would stroll down the streets in their new Easter outfits, creating an impromptu fashion show. Today, the most famous Easter parade takes place on Fifth Avenue in New York City, where participants don their fanciest hats and outfits for the occasion. On the religious side, Easter is observed with solemnity, especially during Holy Week, the final week of Lent. Processions and passion plays are held to commemorate the final days of Jesus Christ's life. The Easter Vigil, held on the night of Holy Saturday, is one of the most important liturgical events of the year. It begins in darkness, symbolizing the darkness before the resurrection of Jesus, and ends in light, celebrating his triumphant return. Easter Sunday Mass is the culmination of these religious observances. It's a time of joy and celebration, marking the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Churches around the world are filled with the joyful sounds of hymns and the scent of lilies, a symbol of Christ's resurrection. These modern traditions are a blend of old and new, secular and religious, which make Easter a unique and multifaceted celebration. Whether it's the exciting hunt for Easter eggs, the glamorous parade, or the solemn church services, they all contribute to the richness of this holiday, offering an opportunity for everyone to participate and celebrate in their own way. Despite all these changes and additions, the heart of Easter remains the same: the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Over recent years, there's been a growing trend, a sort of renaissance, if you will, of getting back to the religious roots of Easter. People are beginning to focus more on the spiritual significance of the holiday rather than its secular festivities. This shift isn't surprising considering the central place the resurrection of Jesus Christ holds in Christianity. It's seen as a pivotal event, a cornerstone of faith that speaks of redemption, hope, and the triumph of good over evil. The resurrection is a moment of profound joy and relief, a reminder of the promise of eternal life. It's a story that has resonated with people for 2,000 years and continues to do so today. There's a growing number of churches and communities that are trying to emphasize this aspect of Easter over the more secular traditions. They're introducing special services, religious plays, and other activities that highlight the resurrection and the events leading up to it. They're trying to create an atmosphere of reflection and reverence, a space for people to connect with the deeper meaning of the holiday. But getting back to the roots of Easter doesn't mean abandoning the fun and frolic. It's about finding a balance, about blending the spiritual with the secular. It's about teaching children the story of the resurrection even as they hunt for Easter eggs, about remembering the sacrifice of Jesus Christ even as we celebrate with our loved ones. This trend is not about exclusion, but inclusion. It's about acknowledging that Easter is multifaceted, a blend of religious reverence and secular celebration. It's about respecting the diverse ways people choose to observe this day and welcoming everyone to partake in its joy. So whether you're hunting for eggs or attending Mass, remember the rich, complex history that has shaped Easter into the celebration it is today. Thanks for joining us on this historical journey. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and donate if you enjoyed this video. For InnerVision FM, this is Johnny J signing off.